Right, welcome back. It was going to be about the Benjamin, but I ordered 2 springs, apparently out of a Virac. They weren't when they turned up. Yeah, well, I ordered 1 spring, but it comes in packs of 2, so I got 2 of them. This is for the Benjamin MP trail to replace the gas ram. These they're like overgrown springs from a big pen. They're rubbish, absolutely useless, no good. So that's another 20 quid wasted. Yeah, so by the by. So I won't be doing a video on that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that now. So this is a Webley Hawk Mark III, 1977 to 79 in 22 caliber. We'll tune it, and I've got a new replacement breech seal for it. These weren't made very well. I mean, they're supposed to be one of the best springers out in 77, 79, but yeah, they weren't made very well. They have a tendency, there's 3 problems with them. Where the barrel holds on the pivot pin, these 2 arms either side of the compression chamber, over time they slowly spread out. It's not good metal. So when you're shooting it and you're slowly moving your target, you're shooting at a target 1 inch and your spread's starting to scatter out a bit. Yeah, it's because that's probably spraying out, which I'll show you which I've done to fix that problem in a minute without shims. Don't put shims in, because all you're doing is just exaggerating the problem. So you need to fix it properly. Well, I say properly with hammer, rubber mallet. But anyway, the other problems they have, there's a pin down there, just in front of the safety. Just a pin to hold the back block on. What it tends to do is, because the compression chamber is thin metal, it tends to stretch, especially if somebody puts in an overpowered spring or increases the power. It can push that block out and it'll stretch that hole where the pin goes in. So it needs to be repaired. Ideally, behind the back block, there's enough space that you can put a shim to stop the back block from moving at all. But just don't put overpowered springs in it and it won't stretch. Or you could get a welder, if you know a good welder, you can tack weld it and then fill the hole a bit, and then you can file that to clean it up. The other problem on the breech, ignore the air sights. I'm going to take that off anyway. I don't, well, I'll leave it on, but I don't use them. So just under the, where this rests on the pivot pin, the barrel pin, it tends to flatten it a bit, so it'll give you a wobble up and down a bit. So when you're shooting, once you've sorted the left and right, you might notice an up and down. This has got that up and down. It's minute, so if I'm shooting a target, I can group it like two centimeters, and then occasionally one will go a little high. It's because there's a tiny little flat spot on there. Some are a lot worse than this. This isn't bad actually, to be fair, because it's been abused. It's been abused. I bought it a long time ago off a mate for a £5. He bought it brand new. Well, his dad bought it brand new, and then he moved on, and I bought it for a £5 off of him. So I've had this a long time, and yeah, it's been battered and abused, and it's had names engraved into it, and a number 7. I've sanded all this stock down because it was wrecked, but number 7, I've still got to sand it more to get rid of that number 7 there. But I'll flip it over. You probably can't see, but my name's in there somewhere. I've sanded most of it down, but you can just see my name just gently, so I'll still need to carry on. Then I'm going to tan it a bit darker, because at the moment it just looks like pine. I don't like pine look. Right, first thing, we need to take the scope off. So the scope it's on here is a 3-9 B40, just a centre point scope. You don't want anything too fancy on something like this. It's a fossil. Right, so that's that off. Let's take the stock off now. Right, there is a spring. Completely missed that then. Oh, cool. I'll tighten that down well. There's a spring adjustment on the top of the block going down to the trigger. And the spring bolt should be in there. It's a heavy spring, real heavy. I mean, the trigger's not the best as it is. You could probably give it a polish, but I wouldn't suggest messing about with the trigger. Just leave it as it is. But that spring, which I'll show you in a minute, if you get rid of it and get a big pen spring, all that spring's doing is making the trigger return forward. It's not doing anything else. So it won't automatically fire when you take safety off or anything. It won't do any of that. So on the back, you've got on the trigger guard, front screw, the back screw. The back screw is just a wood screw going into the stock, so you don't need to undo that one. Just undo the front screw and then it'll detach. Right, at the moment, all I want to get to is in here to the breech, so I can replace the air seal. The adjuster, if you look, you can see that hole there. That's just a screw. So you slacken it off and it loosens the spring. The spring comes through. You can't see it, but it's just in there between the safety. There's a little spring, and it just pushes on the trigger. You could probably see it, just see a bit of gold, I don't know. But that's all. It's just a big pen spring. It makes that trigger a lot lighter than the pull power on this. You're talking about, oh sorry, you're talking about 7-8 pounds of pressure for the trigger. So yeah, so take that spring out and it'll drop it to about 4.5, 5. But don't forget, put a big pen spring in there just to increase it a bit. Get the trigger to return. Don't leave it with no spring. There's a pivot pin there, and that's the breech pin there, which the barrel sits on. And that's the one what caused the flat spot, which gives you the up and down, up and down. Cool. That should have come out a lot easier than that. Like that. There we go. Oh, you see it's well greased. Take that out. What are you catching on now? Come on. Come on. There we go. Separate that. No, we don't need that. So here's your barrel pin here. Take that out. That little notch, remember that notch, because it's got to be facing upwards so you can put your pin in and out. And you have to put force on it. Spring behind it. And if I can see, I'll show you there. You can just see that shiny little spot there? That's a flat spot. That's causing the up and down, but mine's so minute. By the time it gets down range of 25 yards, it's only a centimetre, 2 centimetres out or so. So yeah, the way to do that is twist the barrel, get the barrel out, twist it, unlock it, and then fasten it back in with a fresh spot. But yeah, I tried the other day to twist this barrel, it ain't budging, so I'm not going to clamp it or anything. I'll just leave it for now. It'll probably be in a later date or something. So in here, that's a breech seal there. I need my specs for this because I can't see that properly. So these are the two limbs I was talking about. So mine, this limb, the left one, had bent out slightly, but it's so minute, it was only tiny. So the rifle was shooting to the left, way off target. If I used iron sights, you wouldn't be able to pick it up and center it because it was that far out. So all I did, put it down, not with this. I used a rubber mallet, laid it down there, got a good firm grip, hit it once, and then tested it on here. And then you just keep hitting it. Mine only took one hit because I give it a good hit. And then it fits snug. Don't put shims in there because you're just going to exaggerate that problem and it'll go even further left. So don't use shims. These should be, this is a shimless rifle, there's no shims in here. So you need to close that and keep it like that. Shims won't improve it. Alright, let's get that seal out. If it'll come out. It's not in awful condition, considering it's never been replaced. You can see it, I don't know if you can see, it's got lip on it. So again, like I said in the last one, all seals, the flat spot goes on the inside. All seals do that. The rounded edge comes on the outside. So the idea is when the barrel hits it, it squishes it and gives it a nice firm seal. That's why you have the flat spot on the inside. I know somebody said, oh, surely it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, it does make a difference. That's why it's designed that way, but that one, yeah. So if I show you the difference. So this is the new one and this is the old one. It's not a big difference, but it's got a lip in it now. It's been squished that many times over the years. But I've never replaced it, so I will replace it now. And that is it. That's how easy that one is to get in. Just like that. Simple. Alright, I need to get that pin out and start this again, I think. So what I've done, I'm not taking the spring out, but what I've done up here, in the top of the spring, I've put a spring guide. So, oh, I won't use that one. It's a bit like that, but it's got a top out on it. So push the spring onto that, and that's just in there, just like on the Vyrac tuning kits. And it's on the inside of the spring there. On the back block, I've put a piston seal from a Benjamin. The old piston seal, I took out the old Benjamin. I've put it, sat it on the end of that back block. It fits perfectly, perfect fit. And then the spring sits on that. So you won't hear that lang, ping, which this has got. You think the Vyrac was bad with its twang. This was a nightmare. Yeah, you didn't just hear the twang, you'd hear the twang, twang, twang. And it just bounced in there. It was horrible, awful. Like that. So now you can, if I show you, so you can see in there, just below the breech, you see the pin there? Now it's pushed down. Because that little notch which was cut out in it has to be facing up for that pin to go in, otherwise you're not going to get it in. I'll just tap that down a bit more through that, like that. What fell on the floor? Like that. Rubbish, don't need that. Now we can put the other pin through. That just goes in dead easy, that one. Like that. You go, locked. So it's a new seal. Let's put this in back in here. Rebuild this back up. So I'll show you it shooting in a minute. Once I've built it all back up. And the barrel, it's not blue. It's spray paint. Yeah, this barrel's been sanded down. Yeah, by moi about 20 years ago. So just recently, when I've decided I'll give it a tuning, I've been looking at blue stain, so I'll have to sand all this down again and blue stain it properly. But it's not one of those rifles you want to mess about with too much. It's just a garden plinker, bit of fun. I mean, you could probably hunt rabbits and squirrels with it, but yeah, you probably get one shot off and you'll never see another rabbit again. They'll all disappear. Let's get the scope back on. It's not an ugly rifle. It's just it's not beautiful. So yeah, it's an ugly rifle. It's anorexic, very anorexic. if I show you, it's thin. There's not much weight to it, but it's got a long barrel. It gives it a chance to go straight, I suppose. But yeah, the stock's very thin. There's not much to it. Eventually, I'm hoping to get a nice bit of ash from one of my clients who's a lumberjack. And I can make a new stock with a pistol grip thumb hole. Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing this to this rifle. I suppose because I've had it so long. I don't want to sell it. Yeah, so I may as well use it. I think that's it. Everything's greased anyway, so I only greased it last week when I put the spring guide in and a piston seal on the back block. If you just want to see it in another video, I'll strip it apart completely and rebuild it for you and show you. But like I said, the spring on the trigger spring adjuster, take the screw out, get rid of the spring. It's an horrible rock hard spring. There it is. There it is. That's the spring there. It's a chunky bit. Ignore that it's a bit bent. I don't know why it's bent. That's the way it come out. But yeah, it's a rock hard spring here. I mean, I've got some major guns. It's not bad. Well, I've got a dimple, but it's not squishing that in a hurry. That's your trigger. So yeah, just get rid of it. Get a big pen spring, put it back in its place. You don't need the tension screw again. But don't sling it. I've put it in the tub parts. Yeah, so let's do a test fire just into my block. You don't dry fire a rifle, by the way, Springer. You can dry fire a PCP, don't make any difference, but don't dry fire a Springer or a gas run. A nitro piston. I've got some blocks of wood over here behind me. Yeah, come back. Oh. So, gonna get a table set up and I'll have a few shots downrange. That's what it looks like. Right, so all set up. I'll send one that I'll put down there, which you'll see there somewhere. New sheet of A4, because during the night the slugs get on there and eat it for some reason. Yeah. So just shooting Excite. These are 14.8 grains. Excite from Amazon, £6.75 for a tin of 250. They're made by H&N, by the way, if you didn't know, and they're good pellets. So cheap for back garden plinking. Did I just put one in? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Right, so before you shoot, safety here, you have to push forward like that. Now it's off. Safety, ready to fire. So A4 sheet of paper. I'll go for the second row from the bottom, middle one. Zeroed. Remember, this isn't a Virak, so it's not going to do Virak shooting. But for a 45, 47-year-old rifle, it's not bad. And as you can hear, the spring isn't as bouncy as it normally is. But yeah, I might do another video and take the compression chamber all apart. It's a pain in the rear though because of that spring, what's in there for the trigger. It's a nightmare. But yeah, in another video, if you are interested to see the whole shenanigans of this rifle, because I've got to take it apart eventually anyway, I'll show you the insides of what I've done to tune it to make it as good as it is. Crunch is quite often popular with springers. So again, same target. bear in mind, those targets I'm shooting down there are only 1.5-inch targets. Maybe 2 inches ish. Oh. Old rifle. Yeah, it's good for plinging. And unfortunately, I can't put it on a chrono because my neighbour's chrono is he's got the FX chrono. Was it Mark II or version 2? And it's stopped working. It won't work with the app. So, oh, that was a flyer. Did that just come back and hit me? Yeah. Yes. So what I mean, now that shot was probably caused by that barrel. It's got a little, tiny little flux on it. Or it could have been me. I'll shoot one more. That's going to be my new phrase. One more. It's a very, very light rifle. Yeah, that one up there was me. So you got 2 in 1 hole just then. That's at 25 yards again. That's all I'll shoot at, 25 yards. In 2.2, Webley Hawk Mark III, 1977 to 79. After the 79, the Webley turned to, well, it's the same rifle basically. A few things changed on it, but it's Webley Vulcan, which is pretty much the same rifle. Most of the parts off the Vulcan, vice versa, will fit the Hawk and so on. Not bad rifle, eh? Yeah. So that's tuned to the way I like it now, so I'm happy with that. I could put power for the spring in, but at the moment, judging by what its impact is on that lead disc when I shoot the lead disc, it's probably about 8.5, 9 pounds, which is plenty enough for garden plinking and killing squirrels. Yeah. These are a little bit heavier. These are Hades 15.6, I think. Yeah, 15.6 grain. So just have a quick shot of them. I think the battery's running out on the camera. So we'll have one quick go at this to show you before the battery runs out. And yes, this can shoot slugs. It's quite happy shooting a slug. 21 grain slug. So go for the same target again. Yeah, because it's a different pellet, the trajectory is slightly different, but it's fine. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Cheers. Yeah, go then. Why not? See you. My target camera went off as well, so it missed the last 2 shots, which was I think it was that one, and then there was another one here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots. That's not bad. My thumb covers them lot over no problem. That was the Hades, by the way, and I don't know what that was. Don't ask. Yeah, not bad.